Modernist News presents Designing a New Utopia. What we are about to show you are revolutionary new homes that are paving the way to a new utopian society. The impact of the Great War has brought nothing but destruction and pain to the world. It was a period of economic panic for the Netherlands as one of their main trade allies, Germany, was forced to pay war reparations. These reparations were partly towards the immense damage caused in France. After the war ended, society looked to salvage any form of hope amongst the devastation. The new modernist architecture movement is turning architectural design upside down, bringing functionalism and purified form to the extreme. These brand new homes, designed by Reitveld and Corbusier, are striving to bring society out of the rubble with modernist thinking. The two houses we will be talking about today are the Schroeder House and the Maison Cook. Let's introduce the architects. Gerrit Reitveld was born on June 24, 1888, in Utrecht, the Netherlands. He started working in his father's cabinetry business, where he then continued on to furniture design. He saw little to no success after his first small architecture commission and continued with his furniture designing skills. Corbusier was born on October 6, 1887 in Boulogne-sur-Seine, France. He is a man of many trades. He is an architect, painter, urban designer, furniture designer, and author, who is known as being a pioneer of modern architecture. He was trained to be a watchmaker like his father. There, he met a teacher who encouraged him to study architecture. He designed his first house at age 20. Let's hear from him now.
J'ai eu l'occasion de les montrer parfois dans des expositions, de les exposer dans des livres, mais petit à petit le silence s'étend sur ces choses-là.
On n'a jamais répondu à ces plans.
Now let's talk about the design concepts. The style, Dutch for the style, was an art movement founded in 1917 that consisted of architects and artists. It was founded in Leiden, the Netherlands. This idea is the primary inspiration behind the Schroeder House. It embraced abstract minimalism that focused on precisely rendered geometric forms and proportions and primary colors. Reitveld designed the house using red, blue, and yellow. The style emerged in response to the destruction of World War I. The goal was to create work that embodied the utopian vision. Purism is an architectural style founded by Le Corbusier himself, in which objects were represented as powerful forms devoid of any extraneous detail. Purism simplified the architecture to its pure geometric angles and shapes, which were absent of any representational meaning. Striving for a timeless quality, much of the purist work is absent of decoration or additional ornamentation. Le Corbusier selected a color palette that included cerulean blue, burnt sienna, cream, black, and green.
Now let's talk about context. The plan of both houses covers about the same area. The Maison Cook covers 1,080 square feet, and the Schroeder House covers 1,010 square feet. While the Schroeder House was 2 stories, it covers more of the site than the Maison Cook does. Le Corbusier's design makes up that space with its 4-story height. Schroeder House was located in the Netherlands, in an upper-middle-class suburb at the end of a brick-faced terrace. The Schroeder House was found on the periphery of Utrecht. The only thing separating it from the countryside was a small road. The Parisian suburb of Boulogne-sur-Seine is where the Maison Cook was integrated into the middle of a row of houses. Although the Netherlands are a bit colder than Paris, both resided in similar climates and were found at around the same latitude. Schroeder House can be accessed from a sidewalk or by bike path, while the Maison Cook could be accessed from a tree-lined sidewalk and overlooked a small park. While the Schroeder House has 3 facades, it shares one party wall with the brick-faced residential terrace. The Mason Cook only has 2 facades and shares 2 party walls with its neighbors. The Schroeder house was designed for Truce Schroeder, who was an artist and designer. He eventually became a member of the Gestile movement. The Mason Cook was designed for an American couple, one of whom dabbled in the arts, and had a garage which was an important and essential part of the program. The Mason Cook was located 5 miles from the capital of France and found on the edge of the growing city. The Boulogne-sur-Seine and Utrecht-Stadstrand were developing suburban areas in the 1920s. Both houses were placed bordering the Bois de Boulogne and Wilhelmina Park. Schroeder House was located next to a road that would become an elevated motorway in 1963. In response, Reitveld wanted the house to be demolished, although it never was.
Up next, we will compare the public and private areas of the Schroeder House and the Maison Cook. When one enters the Schroeder House, it is noticeable a meager foyer equipped with a coat closet together with the initial threshold of the central winding stair. The house at the time is overly rational despite its evident formalism. Therefore, all the rooms on the ground floor function as flexible living and working spaces, with the singular exception of the fixed kitchen and dining at the southeast corner of the plan. There is a studio design with a display window that functions as an exhibition of Reitveld's artwork. There is also an atelier included where he worked until he moved to Utrecht in 1932. The flexible open plan of the second floor of the Schroeder House stands in sharp contrast to the conventional subdivision of the first floor. It was the owner's desire to leave an open floor plan in order to create bedrooms for her daughter, son, and herself. These bedrooms had an addition of toilets, bathrooms, and porcelain sinks for the self-sufficiency of the family members when subdivided. The slight asymmetrical position of the anti-clockwise spiral stair in the Schroeder House served to inflect the public domain of the dwelling to the southeast corners of both floors. Both floors have a simple kitchen with the sleeping-cum-studio spaces being banished to the corners. The spiral staircase rotated through the house in a counterclockwise manner, ending in the most formal living area on the upper floor. This pattern is appreciated better when the sliding and folding elements on the second floor are withdrawn. The availability of the functional open domain is emphasized by the centripetal movement pattern of the staircase. The one fixed service space on this floor is the bathroom, which folds into a closet when the top floor is opened up. The toilets on the ground and first floor are fixed, tightly planned service elements. The Maison Cook has a winding approach path, half-cylindrical foyer, and stair hall that constitutes the thresholds of the house. The garage, back door steps, and the adjacent space to the half landing of the stairs are left as a service space. In comparison to the Schroeder House, it is primarily activated in terms of its plan. The top 2 public floors of the house are separated from the ground level by the second floor, which is primarily dedicated to the bedrooms. In the Maison Cook, the traditional position of the piano nobile is shifted from the second floor to the third floor, treated as an honorific double-height space with an adjacent single-story dining room serving as a secondary goal. As in the Schroeder House, there is a diagonal inflection in plan, whereby on both first and second floors, the northwest corner is allocated to service space, which takes the form of a spacious bathroom adjacent to the bedrooms on the second floor and a kitchen, serving the living and dining volume on the third floor. The concentration of the service space into one quadrant of the plan finds an asymmetrical echo in the double-height living volume from which a straight flight of stairs rises, providing access to the mezzanine library overlooking the living space. The promenade through the Maison Cook is arranged in such a way to emphasize the ultimate goal of the house, namely the double-height living volume that occupies the 2 top floors. Some goals opening off this itinerary range from the boudoir on the second floor to the library on the top floor. Continuous circulation is afforded through the service areas on the second and third floor. One may enter both bathroom and kitchen from more than one door.
Le Corbusier had a very particular way of designing structure and making the structure work towards his concept. He provided that with his amazing structure in his famous house design. Gerrit Reitveld was contracted to design multiple buildings after the war, due to his design and his emphasis on structure. In the Schroeder House, Gerrit designed it using a timber frame, compared to Mason Cook's concrete frame and hollow blocks reinforced with rebar. yet they both use a very solid and dense material as a backbone for their design. Le Corbusier decided to show the concrete on the front facade of the Mason Cook residence, while Garrett decided to keep the frame hidden. Le Corbusier cantilevered part of the house from a single column, while Garrett designed the house to have 3 successive facades pinwheel about one another. Both of these homes used steel beams to support some main point in their design. Garrett used it to support his pinwheel design, while Le Corbusier used it to support part of its second story of the house. Both home designs were strategic moves to help out with post-war recovery. Although they have different styles of designing, different choice of materials, and different deliverables, they arrived to a similar conclusion. Their designs range anywhere from furniture to lavish homes, yet their distinct design style is very noticeable in all their work. Le Corbusier and Gary Reitveld designed homes with a clear concept throughout every aspect of the home, beginning with the frame and ending with a general feel of a room. This paving the perfect path to a utopia and a perfect recovery from World War.